What's up, guys? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, please smash that like button on the video and enjoy the show. Recently, too.
About a year ago, this all started, yeah.
Oh, so you knew about some of this when you were in here, but weren't talking about it yet.
No, well, you and I were talking. I had found Cavis, not discovered, but had connected. Cavis and Kef, but I hadn't even known about Ionis yet, or the connections with South America. So a lot of this grew and got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think the whole point of this is that we're gonna try to tackle this film, and I want to mention this to people. So what we're doing is we have an incredible director and producer. I won't mention who they are yet, but they've done some amazing things. And we have a team of 4 experts from around the world, and we're going to be traveling to Lake Vaughn, to these sites, and Bolivia, and we're going to go and capture all of these incredible sites, these discoveries, bring them all together in a film that is powerful, and then go all the way to Bolivia and show the same symbols. And we're hoping we can build off of all of the amazing work like Graham Hancock did on Netflix with Ancient Apocalypse. I don't think people are understanding the significance of that. It's all about pushing a narrative forward. In order to do that, it takes a lot of time, moments like precisely timed for when people are ready. And Graham getting that on Netflix just opened up the avenue for this to be talked about in a way that it never has. And so what we're hoping to do with this, to get on Netflix or something like that, is to make a film that encompasses this in a way where it touches people's hearts. Imagine touches people's hearts in a way where, look, here we have potentially the oldest cross on earth that was supposed to be about this totality of harmony and balance with the universe and reaching these higher states of consciousness. Who's going to fight that? In terms of I don't like that. What do you mean? These are...
As long as you back it with real evidence.
Right. These are the core teachings that went around to whether or not it's the ancient Hindu civilization cultures, or it's the ancient Maya, or it's the ancient Peruvians, or the Egyptians. They understood a lot of this. They understood it.
The thing about this stuff, and this is why I don't envy the position you're in this way. I love the type of work you do and the research, but when it comes to the messaging of it, the reason I don't envy being in your position or other people who come at it from different angles is that when you start getting deep enough into history, into ancient history, you start to sometimes encroach upon where people have their set meaning, right?
Big time.
Yeah, and I'm not just talking what you think, organized religion. I'm talking how people then view the rest of history, and then what that means about them and where they are.
That's why this is so dangerous.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So even though you may sell it and package it in a great way and say, "Ooh, we're going to look at our consciousness and excitement," and you said oh, who's not going to buy into that? A lot of people are going to buy into it for sure. A lot of people aren't though, too. And that's okay.
No, I think that's normal.
There's nothing wrong with that. It just is a shame that, we have trouble in parts of society talking about these things. I mean, look, that's why I do what I do. I believe in talking things out. I love this stuff. I lean into it. It's just, it's a very difficult, I agree. What Graham did doing that show and getting a way different perspective on there, literally on the mainstream, right?
Yes.
It's Grant went mainstream. Let's fucking go.
Well, that's what I mean is that it's the time for this. It never has been until now.
Yeah.
And that's why we're gonna make this film. We truly want to touch and capture the hearts of not only people, but to try to change the narrative of ancient civilizations and how far back we go and the sophistication, all those things, right? So we're trying to do this for a position to do something good. We really want, this story needs to be known by the world. It's waited long enough. And so if people want to be part of this, to contribute to the film, or at any point, please go to thestageoftime.com and just check out everything we're trying to do, because it takes a lot to change history. And I know that's a loaded statement, but it's not just one person like Graham and if you want to know who changes history, how about the start of what unveiled with Robert Bauval and John Anthony West in Egypt. That's called changing history.
You know what I like? That I just thought of this on the spot right now. I'm surprised I haven't thought of this yet. I like the idea of discovering history.
Right.
Because changing it doesn't actually, we could discover things that go beyond what we already have known or have been taught.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that because look at, I mean, shit, how much of the ocean has been unexplored? Do you know off the top of your head?
5%.
5%'s been explored.
5 to 7%.
Right. So just the ocean itself, which is a physical thing right here that we could all go to right now.
And our planet's 70% water, roughly. So
Right. So you think about that. Now think about how much of history is unexplored.
Totally.
So we're constantly discovering. We're using our past to create prologue in a way. I don't know if I'm using that correctly there. But
no, that's good. And you're right. It's like instead of saying that the Ararat civilization and its implications are going to change history. Maybe this film and what we're doing, I'm writing my new book on this, and I'm going to be taking at least 2 trips to Turkey next year. I have 2 already planned. Yeah.
That's exciting.
And Egypt and Bolivia. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be on site doing all of this. But,
that's awesome.
Is that, maybe you're right, is that we're discovering history here. We're discovering it, and maybe that's a good point, is we need to stop saying that we're going to change it, and is that maybe we need to discover and then just rewrite it in the right way. I hope that someday that archaeologists can completely get out of that mindset of not being able to step on anyone's toes and not being objective. I want archaeology in the future to be like, this is what the evidence is. Yes. Let's try to figure it out.
And let's try to constantly disprove it by finding something farther. This is where science and history meet. The farther back you go in time with history, the more you need science to actually get to where it is, and science is, by the way, is in a way using science to find stuff like this, right?
Absolutely.
So it's amazing the cross pattern there is there, and that's the beauty of it. A guy like Albert Einstein, who's one of the greatest to ever live,
greatest minds,
the beauty of his work is that one day, maybe not even that far down the road, almost everything he worked on will have been able to be disproven in some way. It's incredible.
But it's also sad when someone like maybe like Nikola Tesla dies before they ever know that any of their discoveries were ever found. I mean,
very sad.
I mean, I guess it gets back to the idea that we're energy and we're eternal. It's not like we're in some fiery pit somewhere, like waiting forever in damnation. Obviously, that's not the purpose of this life. The purpose, I think, is to try to take it as far as we can. You know, like, what can you, like you're doing? Having all kinds of people come talk and try to change things, give different perspectives, open our minds up to different things. That's what we need to do going forward as humanity. And it doesn't matter what it is in, right? Ancient civilizations, consciousness, or even just like what good food to eat.
Yes.
We need to stop being afraid of what someone else thinks and just be open to talk about things. And I think that's where we're going to eventually go. And I know it's like blasphemy to say this might be the first cross in history and the first cup chalice, right? And all those
blasphemy.
But to some it is. To
some
it is.
But it's how you say it. That's why I was talking about earlier. There's different types. Don't worry about that.
Right. But it's, again, I cannot be more excited for where some of these are going to potentially go. And when I get there, I'm taking 2 trips, probably April and again May or June. And I'm going to be doing measurements, complete photographs and analysis of the sites. We're going to try to go as archaeological as we can without disturbing them and getting arrested or in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's not do that.
So we're going to toe the line with that with total respect on these. But yeah.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.